Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechach Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim, I heard pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Bashem El Shai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. So Brother Quana Wath come back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power. Yahweh Bashem El Shai, Lord will, it is edifying, Lord will, straight to the point. I'm doing this lesson, man, on my lunch break, man. So Lord will, it won't be too long, man, just kind of hitting the points. But nonetheless, right, as you see right here, it's on the Newsbreak app, it says giant freaking robot, whatever. It says Pentagon warns of actual space war, and this is ultimately prophesied, right, to ultimately take place, man. And as we read in this article, they ultimately, they paint the picture as if they're going to be fighting a war, in space, against Russia, and China. But we understand, right, through the spirit and power, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, what that war, and who that war is going to be up against, right? That war, that space war that's coming, right, is going to be basically the world, right, versus, Yahweh Shai and the angels, man, right, as we're going to get, but I want to read a little bit of this, right? It says Pentagon warns of actual space war. It says the United States military leaders gathered for a change of command ceremony for the U.S. Space Force at Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado Springs earlier this month, and talks of a space war ran rampant throughout the speeches given, right? So they were talking about it, man. Why? Because they're ultimately preparing for it, right? Esau Edom, he knows, man. He's listening to the prophets, right? The scriptures talk about, speaking this word, right, that it enter into the gates of the nobles, man. They hear this word, they see what the prophets are speaking about starting to, ultimately come to pass, right? Esau seeing, all the angels, right, the accounts coming in, on his, international space station. There's multiple times, hundreds of times they've had to cut the feed, if not more, right? Thousands of times they've had to cut the feed, on their live stream, because there's a chariot that pops up, man, and you could damn near see it in full detail, so Esau, is starting to see, the chariots more, right? So he understands that, hey, he's going to have to, as is written, right, he's going to have to fight these chariots, man, which we know he's going to lose, right? And we're going to grab that in Revelations 12, right? But it says, while the main purpose of gathering was to appoint a new head of the Space Force, there were several speakers whose themes centered around the probability of a conflict beyond the atmosphere or even a space war. That's right. So let's grab this real quick, and then we'll come back to this article. But I do want to prove, right, that it's been prophesied, right, that there is going to be a war that's going to be had, in space, right, in the heavens, right? Revelations 12 and 7, it says, and there was a war, right? And this is a vision in which, John is seeing, right? He's seeing this vision. The Lord's giving him this vision, right, of what's going to happen, in this time, right? It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, right? And the dragon is going into, Esau Edom, man. Esau Edom, as well as, the other nations are going to be fighting as well, right? In the valley, Yahweh Shaphat, right? All those nations are going to be, fighting against each other, right, in that area. And what's going to happen? Yahweh Shai is going to crack the sky, right? So true that it rhymed. Yahweh Shai is going to crack the sky, right? And all those nations are going to turn their attention on Yahweh Shai, right? And try to fight Yahweh Shai, but against Yahweh Shai and the angels, right? But they're going to lose, man, right? That's why it says, verse 8, it says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven, right? They're going to be destroyed, right? The dragon, right, going into Esau Edom, right? And the angels are going into, the military, right? Their jets and, so on and so forth, man. They're flying around, their drones and shit, all those things are going to be destroyed, man. Yahweh Shai ain't coming to play, man. right? He's coming with an army, right? He's the King of Kings. He's coming with an army, you know? Let's grab this real quick in Revelations 19, and we'll start at verse 11, right? It says, and this is another vision, right, that John had seen, right? The Lord gave, to John, right? He's seen it, right? Yahushua is coming, right? It says, and I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, right? And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And this is speaking on Yahushua, right? And that white horse, right? White is symbolic for pure, right? Horse is symbolic for power, right? So really, he was coming in pure power. When we read, right, in 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter, which is what we're gonna get, right? Lord will after this, after we read the article, a little bit more, it shows you that Yahushua is coming on a chariot, man, which Ezra has seen, right, and said, and he described it, right, as a bigger than a mountain, as big as a mountain. This mountain just coming up, right? He couldn't even see the sides of it, man. Huge, man. Coming in pure power, right? It says, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness doth he judge and make war, right? Because that's what he's coming to do, make war. Verse 12, it says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And that's not literally going to be, many little crowns, floating above his head, going in circles. No, man. That ultimately is symbolic, for him ultimately, casting these nations down, right? Beginning with Esau, Edom, casting them down and consecrating, that power unto himself, man. It says, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. It says, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, which we can read in Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, right? Yahushua is coming to what? Tread that wine press, man. It says, and his name is called, it's like, verse 13 at the end, says, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. That's right. Right? Yahushua was, the Word made flesh, man. Verse 14, it says, in the armies, right? It says, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, right? So again, right, that's talking about the angels, right, that are coming with him, right? Yahushua, again, he's a king, right? A king always travels, with with his guards, right? His main guards, as well as, usually as you see in movies, always travel with a little small army or whatever, just in case of ambushes and stuff like that. The king is always protected, right? Highly protected, and with Yahushua, Yahushua got the powers. He don't necessarily need, because Yahushua can do it all himself, but nonetheless, he's still coming with the army, and the angels gonna get busy too, man. Yahushua gonna get his, and the angels gonna get theirs, man. All the wicked of the earth, man, is gonna get their recompense, man, from Yahushua and the angels, man. And again, it says white horse, right? Pure power, right? Because they're coming in pure power too, right? Yahushua said, I will not meet thee as a man. So he's coming in that spiritual, angelic power, right along with the angels, right? It says, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. It says, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, right? It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and the wrath of the almighty power, right? And that was ultimately the point on that. Right, actually, I'll give verse 16. It says, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's Yahushua, man. But let's go back to this article, showing a Yahushua ain't coming to play, man, But I want to drop down. Right here, it says the ceremony's main purpose was to mark the changing of the guard, one might say. General James Dickinson handed over the reins of the U.S. Space Force to General Stephen Whiting. Whiting is now charged with overseeing all U.S. military operations in outer space. The Space Force was created under President Trump in 2019 and has since pushed space domain awareness and combat readiness among its members, who are presently known as Guardians. Right? So again, this is something that, Esau knows what's coming, man. He's seeing all the angels. He knows what's coming, and he's ultimately getting prepared for it, man. Right? And he really is starting to, that's why they're talking about it a lot, right? Because Esau's starting to get scared, man. Because again, what the prophets are saying is coming to pass, right? It says the whole thing sounds a little like a sci-fi flick, and the insignia of the Space Force doesn't help that argument. However, the possibility of a space war is real. Yeah, we're reading about it in the scriptures, man. Right? It's prophesied. Right? It says it's like high up military officers are really giving speeches about how we can defend our country in space, which they're not going to be able to, man. Yahweh Shai is going to, obliterate them, man. It says, however surprising it feels to hear or read about talks of space war, it seems technologically and scientific progression. Technology and scientific progression have led us here. When you really think about it, space does have a lot to offer the country in terms of finance and power, right? Because Esau always trying to, put a price on something, man. But it says asteroids are rich in natural resources, and there aren't very many well-defined laws governing the ins and outs of space. Really, because they can't get up there, man. So really, you shouldn't even have no damn laws on governing space, man. It's not for you to try to govern, man. That's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, as well as, and that's basically it on that article. But, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, But that was basically it on that article. I do want to, touch on this because it don't matter. Hey, 1044 call law, yeah, right? Because no matter how much Esau prepares, for, this war that's coming, this space war that's coming, right? He's still going to lose, man. No matter what, no matter what, right? So, let me look it up because Esau always messing with the. All right, so let me, second address. All right, the second address 13 and verse 1, it says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, right? So the Lord's giving him a vision, right? Again, just like he did, John, John the Revelator, when he gave him that vision of Yahweh Shai's coming, and Ezra is being given a vision, as well as of Yahweh Shai's coming, right? Of that space war, right? It says, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof, right? It says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, right? We just read it in Revelations, right? Yahweh Shai coming with that army, right? So this is what it's speaking of, It says, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him, right? It says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue that man that came out of the sea. And that's going into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, right? These militaries, these armies, them ultimately again gathering, right? To get Salakia, had a phone call, man. But, right, again, verse 5, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Where again, that's Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Shai is that man, and that multitude is going into these armies, man. Going into the armies, going back to the valley Yahweh Shaphat, where they're going to be gathered together, near the Middle East and fighting against each other, which we're seeing, starting to, be in all these nations starting to head there now, right? You got a lot of, warships in the Mediterranean, America and Iran, or, skirmishes are happening, in that area. So really, everything's starting to, fall in place as of right now, man, which means this vision, right, is about to come to pass, Verse 6, it says, but I beheld, and lo, he that graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. It's like verse 6, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. It's going into a chariot, man. Mountain can't fly, This is just the terminology and how he explained it in his time, right? It says, verse 7, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So it was so big he couldn't see the ends of it, man. And that's heavy, because the scriptures say that, that every eye shall see him. That's how big that chariot's going to be, man. That's how big the chariot's going to be. That everybody's going to see it. You know, that's a big ass fucking chariot, man. You know, verse 8, it says, after this I beheld, and lo, all they which are gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Because again, these nations are going to see this, right? They're going to be trembling in fear, but they're going to fight anyways, man. You know, just like as we, you see in that movie, Independence Day, you had that Edomite as they're flying. You had that Edomite, he kind of like leaned over right before they're flying. He leaned over. They're sitting in a chair, right? Will Smith is in there sitting in the chair, and he kind of, leans over, and you could tell he was scared by what he said. I can't remember exactly, word for word what he said, but you could tell he was scared, But then as soon as they're up there in the plane, Will Smith, gave a little pep talk, this, that, and the third, and they're going to go fight. It's like, come on, man. In reality, Esau, he be putting in these movies like he gonna win, but he not gonna win, man. We read it in Revelations, right? He's not gonna prevail, and we're gonna read it right here. Esau's gonna lose, Verse 9, it says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And that's going into the chariot, sending out those laser beams, man. You saw that big, as they call it, a mothership, which, it's a fathership, in Independence Day. You're seeing out that big ass laser beam, that blue laser beam, and destroyed everything. That's what's going to happen, man. But on a far greater scale, In verse 11, and here it is, right? It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of the fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up, every one. So all those militaries, that were fighting against Yahushua, they were no longer, right? It says, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So this is Ezra, man. He's seeing this. And he was terrified of what he's seen. He was afraid because that day is not going to be, quick, fast, in a hurry, quick and painless type. No, man. We're talking about millions of people are going to be put to death, man. In a matter of minutes. Millions, in the most gruesome way, right? Because right when you have all this happening, you're going to have ICBM nuclear missiles, going off as well, right? The Lord is going to purge the world of the evil and wickedness that's here, rightfully so, man. Rightfully so, but Esau preparing for this war, but his pride had deceived him, right? Because he believes that he's got a good, strong army, right? He's building up this space force, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And it's funny, too, because Esau's own military members have stated that the Lord's, technology, right, is thousands of years ahead of theirs. Thousands. Right? Really, it's infinite, right? Because Esau will never be able to, accomplish even a millionth of what, of the technology that the Lord has, man. These chariots, come on, man. He'll never be able to do that, man. Never. You can give him 2 million years, he'll still never be able to do it. He'll still never. We're at the peak, right? The height of Esau's knowledge and ability, man. This is it. This is Esau's ability, his knowledge. It ain't very much, man. So this damn devil, man, he's gonna fucking die, man. Yahushai and the angels are gonna come and kill his ass, man. Take him out of power, man. And that's gonna be the end of Esau Edom's world, man. Matter of fact, we'll grab this one precept. We'll close out on this, because this is exactly what Yahushua is coming to do. This is 1 Corinthians 15:24. It says, then cometh the end of what? Esau, Edom's rule, man. The rule of a wicked society. Like that when Yahushua comes, and wickedness is over, man. You know? It says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. You know? You know, he's gonna, everybody that's in power, Esau, Edom, all the way down to these other nations, right, being in any kind of position, you know, that's going to be taken away, man. That's going to be completely taken away. You're going to be in your rightful order, your rightful places. You heathens are going to be slaves, man. Tributaries. Nothing more than that. You're not going to have any kind of position, man. Especially not over the Israelites, man. Beginning with the elect, beginning with Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You ain't going to have nothing. You ain't going to be shit, man. You know? I keep reading verse 25. It says, for he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. Right? That's again, it's all you heathens, man. Right? It says the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Right? Because again, right, beginning with the elect, right? Israel as a whole is going to be immortal, man. You know? Going to be immortal. And this is why you heathens, slavery is going to be so bad, because y'all have never been, we have never been, you know, under the captivity of immortals, man. And our slavery was bad. Our slavery bad. But your slavery, your captivity is going to be the worst. It's going to be, and make ours look like a picnic, a good time. You know? Y'all got it. Y'all gonna have it bad, man. But with that, you know, that's all I got, man. Through the Spirit, Lord wills, edifying, Lord wills, straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, great millstone. Till next time, I say shalom.